Now we are going to start the module 6 exercise for reading and writing local data. So this lab is to generate and load the student grades report. Okay, so the scenario is continuing from the previous exercise. So you already have the grades prototype applications. Okay, so it enable user to save the student grade. Now this time it's going to be saved in the JSON file and to save it in the local disk. So if the student click the student profile, okay, that asks the user where they would like to save the file. Okay, so it will display the preview of the data to the user and confirm which locations that is going to be saved. So it will be saved in the JSON format. Okay, so we should be able to change the report you just saved and load it back into the user interface. So that's the summary of this exercise. Okay, so we are going to open the folder as usual. Not folder, sorry. We are going to open the project or solutions. Yeah, under the C drive. Okay, instructions. No, sorry. Our files. We are now in module 6. Lab files, starter, exercise 1. Okay, so now in this grades prototype project, you need another packages from Nuget. Okay, so to be able to get the JSON file, so just right click this one and find something called manage Nuget packages. Okay, so this is the one, it has been installed in our system, so we are going to browse to see. This is the one. We already have this. Looks like Newton. Okay, so it has been installed. Maybe we just update this in that case. Okay. Yep. So if it hasn't been installed yet, you can install. If it has, you can check whether they have latest versions. Okay, and update it. So that's a recommended step. Finish. Okay, that's it. Now let's take a look back in our student profile SAML file. Okay, so under the view, student profile. Okay, so this is the designer view. This is how the report card will look like. Okay, so this, let's view our task list. Task list. Okay. So under this command to add using the Newton soft, so you use the using to add the namespace. Yeah. Okay. Now the second step is the next exercise 1B. Okay, so this is to store the return value from the save file dialog box in the nullable boolean variable. So type the boolean result equal to, okay, so if and so on. Now we have to move this into the bottom of the to-do list. Okay, so you can try to drag it here. Okay, there you go. Yep. Either that or you can cut and paste the comment to make sure all of this to-do list is in the if functions, if method. Now the next one is 1C. Get the grades for the currently selected student. Okay. So in the report card that you have seen just now, we are going to list the grade for the student in this step. Okay, so you will use the generic list. Okay, remember what's generic form. Okay, in this case it's a generic list. So we create a strongly typed list. So it has to list the grade type of either structure. Okay, so in this case I assume it's a structure or a class. Okay, oh, it's a class. So make sure list the class grades. Okay, from the data source. That's where here. Okay. Where G student G in data grades from G in data source grades, where G student ID, oops, the student ID equal to sessions context dot current student dot student ID, accidentally no space here, and select G. Okay, and convert it to list. The next exercise, so task 2, okay, which is this one, serialize the grades to adjacent. Create a variable, call whatever the name of the variable equal to, use the json.convert, okay, because you already add the namespace for JSON. Okay, so you will have this class to be used, json.convert, json-convert dot serialize object. You pass the grades and the formatting type. Okay, now the next one is this. Okay, just double click just to make sure. Okay, the next one is to modify the message dialog box and ask the user whether they want to save it in the JSON path. Okay, pop up in the message box. Okay, done. So the next one, if the reply is equal to yes, I have to make sure it is in the here. Okay. Yep. Okay, all good. Make sure the last comment in this method, at the end of the last comment in this method, okay, all done. In the task list, double click the next task, save the file using the file stream. Okay. Now in the next task, so you create a file stream called, let's say, file. Okay, instantiate new file stream. The file name is from the dialog box. Okay, and it is writing, so it's create and write. Okay, and you create a stream writer, instantiate the stream writer. Okay, so you can use the stream writer dot write, okay, grade as JSON. Yeah. Now the next one, Okay, the last exercise, release all the stream. So it means you have to close the stream writer and dispose it, close the file and dispose it. Yeah. So to release the resources from the memory. Yeah. That's it. So you can test, build the solutions. Yep, success. So you can run without debugging. In the username, let's test with val. We have one called Valley. Password is password99. Okay. Log on. Okay. So in this case, let's test Kevin. Let's say. Let's take a look on the Kevin profile, the report card. Yeah. So this is my name in this case. Okay. Because I log in as Esther Valley. Okay, so let's save the report into the JSON file. So in this save as, let's say this under my document. So maybe leave it in the document folder or whichever folder that you want to save it in. Then save. Yeah, and check what will it look like. So this is the JSON file that will be saved. Say yes. That's it. Okay, so let's close the applications. Now let's take a look on the file that you have just saved. Just remember where you save it. Just now I save it in my documents. It should be here. Yeah. You can open it just to see how it looks like, but you already seen the preview just now. Okay. So what can we do about this? Yeah, maybe we just open it anyway to see. Yeah, so you can open in the Visual Studio or Notepad maybe. Okay, so I just open it in the Visual Studio since I'm already inside the Visual Studio. Okay. Yep, so this is how the JSON look like. You can edit it from here if you want. For example, the mathematic, instead of A minus, maybe it's supposed to be A. Yeah, and maybe put different comment. Let's say very good, and save it and close the file. Yeah, so that's it. Okay, so the next one we are going to try to load the existing file. Okay, so you can either continue from this file or you can open the starter file from the next exercise. So